Good morning, fam. How you doing? It's your favorite auntie on your daddy's side, coming at you today because I'm very, very disturbed by some of the rhetoric and conversation from some of our so-called uh, you new young bucks out here on the scene, spreading and continuing the fight for um, black liberation and the destruction of white supremacy. What I hear now was borderline on total disrespect and um, you know some of y'all really let me see why we still in this condition that we in today. At 54 years old, I done seen a lot. I done been in this all my life. Um, my father personally rode with Malcolm and ran his chapter here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And when I see the disrespect that we have for the Nation of Islam, and more specifically members of the Nation of Islam, whether it's its leadership, um, we have to be mindful and careful about how we want to be remembered, because we can't go forward if we are going to continue to allow the Willie Lynch syndrome to continue to permeate our relationships, um, have disrespect for leadership that we know who sacrificed their lives, their families' lives, to go out on the grain for whatever purpose. All through history, um, there are going to be some people that do things different than sometimes the way we would like them done, or they may make certain compromises, but the objective is freedom. And when you start saying that, because a human being begins to evolve, see, that's the thing about getting older, uh, and that's why a lot of times things are passed on. There's a lot of things personally. Let me start by saying that I disagree with. Um, I used to be a member of the Nation of Islam. I grew up in the nation. So, all things I'm saying are from experiences. I think, for one, there's this brother going around called the Irritated Genie, and he should be very irritated if that's how he is going to respond to leadership. I don't know if you feel that by slaying people, um, you know, is going to get you a bigger name or make you a better orator, but it's really not. Because really, what happens is when people know better, when they're on the right track, a good leader is when you know better, you do better. And at some point, it's just like in your family, how the mother or the father begins to age, and what they've taught you, if you are preparing your children correctly, they should evolve. And there are certain things that they may discover that may piggyback off of you teaching, because you put them on that path. And I think that's what has happened in the Nation of Islam. Um, People are attacking, Minister Farrakhan because of his relationship with L. Ron Hubbard, and because yeah, it's so insane to me, because this is what I said: black people cut off their nose to spite their faces. Before the construct of white supremacy, remember, if you a king or a queen, then you should act like one. The knowledge that L. Ron Hubbard, or the Dianetics, really is basically what it is, because it's something that I read way back in the 70s. I read the book from L. Ron Hubbard because it's a truth that deals more on a spiritual reality. It's still our knowledge. So the fact that you are upset because L. Ron Hubbard or Guru Maharishi, would you have felt better if he would have had Maharishi on the wall? I mean, I don't know. I think L. Ron Hubbard had a response ability. I mean, he brought the whole Dianetic um, movement, and it was just a way of thinking outside the box. You can't just stay on color, 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 color. We listen. We are a conquered people, okay? And so right now, what we need to be doing, in my opinion, is figuring out how we can fuse all these energies and mindsets together to work together. Because we're not the same African that crossed over these shores. Irritated, Genie, Seti. Look at Seti. Seti's so damn light. I mean, you see the white man all in his bloodstream. So come on, we have to stop acting like we are right off the boat. First of all, we so mixed up with other man's milk, and I'm saying this as a mother to speak to the children to sit down for a minute and cool your asses down. Y'all are doing things and saying things that are totally disrespectful and dishonorable to us as black people, period. And if some of this stuff that you really have a problem with, and if you feel that Minister Farrakhan disrespected Khalid Muhammad, or he disrespected, I wasn't at the funeral, okay? I don't know if anybody has put up any information regarding Khalid's. I'll do the research and see. But I do know this. You know, Brother Khalid was a beautiful black prince, okay? And he said a lot of things while he was still walking the earth that was very disrespectful to his father as well. And I know how he was hurt because I was silenced. And I know what that feels like to be kicked out of something, to be silenced, and someone tell you you can't do what you love in your heart because of what you said or what you did. I know what that feels like. So the first response is to retaliate as well. And I commend the spirit of Brother Khalid. And I think that before he left this plane, he was working on healing with his brother. And I think that we should stay in that same spirit. But to hear some of the disrespectful things that you said about the minister personally, I really was very offended. And that's to you, Irritated Genie. Brother Seti, I like it because you hit hard. You hit hard and you say a lot of things that are very relevant in terms of the dynasties. And who can dispute you? You're very knowledgeable, in what you say and in what you do. The point is, sometimes when you attack, the minister, I must admit, I've never heard you do it in a derogatory way that I've heard Irritated Genie do it. But I think that the attack on other black people who have put in work, people who really jockstrap y'all couldn't even pick up, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Period. It's just that simple. Because personally, I got a problem with y'all's homophobia. If you are not gay and if you don't like men, why are you so crazy about fag this and fag that? That to me is so disrespectful and stupid. No matter what you think about somebody, your objective should be, if you're not molesting children, if your goal is not to hurt children, then you on the same team as me. I listen to a lot of y'all brothers in the conscious community talk about, exactly the homophobic rhetoric. But y'all ain't knocking down none of these people that are sleeping with little girls, and having sex with more than one little girl, or sleeping with their little stepdaughters. So I'm not trying to hear none of this craziness. See, y'all are so, Willie Lynch really has got you so damn crazy that you don't really even know how to take the information and evolve without fighting. He taught you how to constantly be at odds with each other. He taught us how to constantly pick out something. If you don't like what the hell the minister said about Khalid Muhammad, If you don't know what has happened to Khalid, and you talking about he shouldn't expose that. What the hell make you think that? Because y'all so damn homophobic. Maybe he should have exposed it. Because a lot more people been exposed and been raped than care to admit. And that's why we got a fucked up world. Okay? Because a lot of y'all is homophobic for some apparent reason that you really don't want to talk about. Okay? So let's deal with that. You think it's necessarily for that he wanted to shit on Khalid? I don't necessarily think that's the case. You don't know that man's heart. So for you to say something just so out there and just blatant stupid, to me, it shows disrespect. Okay? Now, I'm not a bandwagon or shaker of the Nation of Islam. Yes, my name is Khadijah Anwar, and I am still wearing the name of my Arab oppressor. Okay? So either way it go, everybody done screwed us, everybody done fucked us, everybody done oppressed us. So why in the hell are we still trying to oppress each other? I need to know that. Because that is so damn sad. Now y'all out here disrespecting the ministers. I can hear you saying, look, we ain't trying to roll with the Nation of Islam no more. Because we really understand the information that SETI is bringing to us in terms of it's all African. It's all, let's go back here. Now, how you think somebody gonna bring you and put you through all this trauma and you're not affected by it? Whether you gay, whether you, whatever the fuck you are, you think that people can be affected, and you just said that they done fucked us all up. So now, how in the world can? So now you gonna beat these people and kill these people? Y'all talking stupid. And then you want to get mad and talk because Farrakhan has ties with Arabs. But Farrakhan was a musician, okay, and he came into his knowledge through the Nation of Islam. Okay, he didn't know all the politics at the time. He just knew it was different than being raised a Baptist, and he knew something pertaining to the spirit of the black man touched his heart. Okay, because that ain't what they don't teach you, cultural or any kind of self-love. That's why they took flack, first of all, because the Nation of Islam wasn't teaching Orthodox Islam. So I respect Elijah Muhammad and what he needed to do for us at that time. This is a different fucking time. Y'all minds need to evolve, and if you don't evolve, we fucked. You know, we need to be thinking about doing commerce and trade with Africa. We need to be thinking about all these type of things instead of who's gay and who ain't, and that type of bullshit. Y'all on some stupid, dumb, retarded shit, and if you don't change that mindset, we're gonna be just like we is, spinning our wheels with all the knowledge that y'all brothers got. My brothers, my dear sons, y'all need to take that and harness that energy and be able to spit these and wake them up on a different level. I'm not knocking what you do, how you do it, but if you out here telling the victim of white supremacy and advocating for people to bash the heads of people who have been victims of white supremacy, just like you, with your light skin, or with your names or whatever it is, to tell them that they don't have a place, or because whatever they do in their bedrooms and stuff like that is your fucking business. Or if Farrakhan, you think that he shouldn't evolve and shouldn't have taught spiritual principles that, damn it, we gave them in the first place, don't y'all think that's a little crazy? I mean, I don't know, because to me it sounds like what you say, cutting off your nose to spite your face. Let's be able to work within the leadership. Let's be able to knock down all these isms and schisms. I think Brother Ray Hagan has a very good point, because he says when you walk into the African village, whether he runs it like a church, to you, this is really directed to Brother SETI. He got to run it like a church, because most of our goddamn people are so churchified that he has a very significant place in this liberation movement. And how dare you spit on that part of what his mission is. Now, I don't know some of the technicalities, and dear brother, I don't want to go at you, because, like I said, I respect the knowledge base that you have. But how dare you turn away and disrespect the millions of Christians who have come to know, even define you, because of what Ray Hagan has said. Some of us, and most of us, and 90% of us have been brought up in church, right? So, with that being said, how in the hell are you going to shit on him when he's going to the church house to revive them, to give them a word that they never heard before? But he's keeping it in line. Because one of the things that I hated about the Nation of Islam, and then I loved going to church with my mom, was because in the Nation of Islam I couldn't express my creativity. I couldn't use the beautiful voice that God has given me to uplift my people, because that was all too show business. So I had to go outside that and make some money to do that. In church, they had all the protocols. Of course, you couldn't sing certain types of music. So my point is, church plays a significant part in most black people's lives, much more so than Islam. Islam is it's the fastest growing religion. But most of our ancestors were religion. They had to get forced into that, and it wasn't until the 1900s where they started conforming. Really conforming to the craziness. So they were beat into it. So if Pastor Hagen is using that vehicle to uplift his people, what problem should you have with that? I got on that Turner. Okay? I'm not running out here with a hatchet to go and chop up white people. I can't do. I mean, right now that's not my mindset. Right now we need to think economics, y'all. Really, and put the color construct away, because that's all an illusion for a minute. Yes, our clan is African, and we have to rebuild Africa and love Africa and be unapologetically African. But I think that as young men, y'all got to stop. Y'all really, really have to stop blaming victims of white supremacy. You have to stop cutting off your own brothers' heads, especially the ones who put in work. Y'all not getting nowhere like that. We're not gonna get nowhere like that. In fact, we're gonna go down as being one of the foolish people who ever walked the face of the earth. Look at all this great leadership. Look at all this great information. All y'all warriors out there with this knowledge that is just so vast. Stuff I didn't have when I was 14 or 15 years. I'm 54 years old. So, what y'all bringing? You bringing it. Seti, I respect your knowledge base so much, and I think that there's a way that you can fuse this all together. Some of the profanity, oh well, it's okay, but you have to understand, just like as a singer or as a performer, you have to know your crowd. If you can't take that same act on the road and it's got to be the same way and don't know your audience, then you need to go and polish up, keep practicing. Because what you saying is so valuable. I would hate for you to get shut down because you cussing everybody out. That's what your auntie is telling you. Okay? So all I'm saying is I want y'all brothers to continue to liberate our people, to continue to be beacons that are knocking down the lights of white supremacy on us. But at the same time, y'all got to ease up. Y'all got to stop attacking people who have put in work, who have risked their lives. I don't care if they got paid. I don't care what y'all saying about that. They put in work. Okay? Now that we know that we don't need no religion, it took the Ray Hagans, and it took the Ashwakwazis, and it took the Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, and just everybody who has been a sum of bringing us to this point. Let's respect all of our great leaders. Malcolm X to Khalid Muhammad. Let's don't focus on what's negative right now. And don't be talking about somebody got a pass, because somebody done gave your black ass a pass. Especially you, Irritated Genie, because they run around here talking about you a damn agent. So if you can work for Homeland Security, just like me, who had at one time ran a government agency group home, or at one time and continue to be a freelance musician now, because I too could not stand working for the government, and began and continue to feed little children psychotropic drugs. So Brother Umar Johnson was very valuable in my rejection of that particular aspect of what we were doing. So I have to appreciate him and what he brings to the table. So what I'm saying to all of y'all out there is that please do the same. We cannot shit on leadership. As your auntie talking to you on your daddy's side, you can't disrespect me because I love you all. But y'all got to stop hitting everybody so hard, and people who have risked their lives so that you can sit your ass up on YouTube or Blog Talk. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because now you are bringing up, we need new Africans. Yes, we do. But not the expense on shitting on people who have brought us this far. And with that being said, Hotep, Assalamu alaikum, praise the Lord, Allahu Akbar. And at the end of the day, we are all African. All that stuff, that religious stuff, you need to put it away and become an African. And that should be the goal. And if that is the goal, then all this other ism and schism stuff, we're all in the same boat, because everybody has been affected by white supremacy in some type of way. Whether you have a drug problem, whether you have a sex problem, whether you have any type of addiction, it doesn't really matter. That is all the effects of white supremacy. Okay? So, till the next time, love one another. Peace.